There we go. Oh, I have so many notes. There is so much I want to cover for everybody. I've been doing abundance workshops for maybe 15 years now. I've been a healer and coach for 30 years. And what I always found was that money interfered with people's physical body. Their aches and pains, they would come in with allergies, and their allergy would be to this paper, this thing that we use to determine our own value from. It's paper, whether it's American, Chinese, Canadian money is so fun. It's so colorful. But this stuff has actually stopped so many of my clients from being healthy. And we're working in with the frequencies on AO abundance. But I want to change the word from abundance to prosperity. Because to me, abundance means I have a lot of. I've had clients call, Jessy, I'm running my abundance Sephi every single day for a week. Nothing's happening. I've been running it for a month. Nothing's happening. And I ask them, have you been doing your inner voice? Have you been doing your easy scan? Have you made some different playlists? Have you scanned your Cephis to see what you need? Well, no, I just want abundance, really. And what's it been getting you? Abundance means a lot of. Does it mean a lot of more chaos? Does it mean a lot of drama? Does it mean a lot of rashes or issues? Does it mean what is the a lot of? So I want to hone that frequency into yes, abundance means all that infinite possibility, but I want to bring it down into prosperity because prosperity to me means making it physical, turning it into this stuff. All right? Turning it into something that makes me gloriously happy, that makes me feel successful. And successful to me means paying my bills. I was a single mom. I needed to pay my bills. I didn't get child support. But I have a story to tell you about what the scanner did about that after 30 years. That was interesting. The money is such an interesting thing. Money is just a word. I want you to say money out loud. Say the word money and notice how it feels in your body. Does it feel good? Does it feel exciting? Does it give you a tightness or a clutching? Does it make you feel heavy? Does it make you feel worried? What does that word money do to you? Does something. Now say, I don't have enough money. How does that make your body feel? Say, I have too much money. How does that make your body feel? Laura says, the more I say money, the more I smile. Yes, so say it. Money, 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 money. I have videos from our live workshops where I was on the massage table. I have $2,000 in my hand, and I would just throw this money all over Laura, and she would laugh and giggle. Yet I would do that to someone else, and they would seize up and not be able to turn their neck, not be able to touch their toes, not be able to lift their arm. Our society has made it that we don't barter a bushel of tomatoes to get our car fixed. We don't have to dig up carrots in the middle of winter to build a roof on our house or to get clothing. We had IOUs. We had pieces of paper that said I owe you, a service for another service. And then it became easier to say, oh, let's turn it into numbers. And these numbers are supposed to make us feel good. They do make it easy, but they don't make it easy, do they? Because we go into, oh, my rent is more money than I have at the moment. And the brain goes into, I will never have it. I want more money. Wanting means you don't have. And usually the mind translates that into wanting means you will never have. And that is a lie. That is a lie masquerading as a truth. When I did my in-person workshops, I would stand at the door greeting people and I would touch them as they came in the door. And it was so interesting because so many people would actually go, whoa, like this, repelled by the money, resistant to holding the money. There were maybe 3 or 4 people I think in 3 or 4 workshops that may have taken the money and go, ooh, I like this. This is so cool. But a lot of people, we go into, no, thank you. What's the catch? What's wrong with that? I would lie the money on people's bodies here. We do an orthopedic evaluation to show how flexible their arms and their legs were, if things could move. And you put money in them, you tuck money into their shirt or body, and all of a sudden the people would be like statues, weighed down by all of their repressed emotions about money. It's ironic because our head knows that our society runs on this stuff, and our body may have an aversion to it. I call it an allergic reaction. And that's what we're here to do today. I want to help your mind start seeing things in a different way and repatterning your ideas about abundance and prosperity. That paper that I was showing you, that colorful paper that we have in Canada, it's not paper anymore, it's plastic. Used to be paper. This is paper. This is valuable paper. I mean, when we had quarantine, people were going nuts trying to get this paper. It has just as much value as what's printed here, except our mind doesn't perceive the value. I have another idea for you. If all the people disappeared from the planet tomorrow, nature could do nothing with this. Nature could do nothing with these things. Coins mean nothing to nature. But this stuff, the squirrels and the birds could pad their nests with this. They would have some use for a while. How much value are you assigning to this and this? How much value have you decided you don't have because your mind has decided you don't have enough of this? It's not even as if we can take this and stack it in the bank and have piles and piles and piles of this stuff. It just becomes numbers. Numbers, black and white numbers, or red numbers, telling you whether you're valuable or not. That is such BS. You would never say to an infant, you have no value because you're not making money yet. We hold that baby in our arms and we feel that God sent miraculous energy that's there. That child, I want you to imagine holding a baby in your arms right now and just feeling the love that you embody holding that child. And I bet you any money, I bet you any money, what a funny phrase, that if you hug this, you won't feel anything. So what does prosperity look like for you? We say we want abundance. We want more. We want more money. Okay. We want more what? Luxuries. We want more time. For me, I always managed to make enough money. I always managed to pay my bills, but I never had time. I was taking care of my mom 24/7. She had dementia. She couldn't walk anymore. She was wheelchair bound. I raised my kids on my own. I was running a business and a clinic, and I still had a household to run. I never had time. Prosperity to me means time. Prosperity looks like freedom of choice, being able to do what I want to do, being able to share. Yes, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Prosperity to me also means being able to drink my water out of a crystal glass because it's fun. Prosperity to me also means having a bouquet of flowers on my kitchen table every week. Fresh flowers, brand new. The scent makes me feel real. Prosperity now, because we have spring in Canada, is greenery growing on my trees, lily of the valley coming up in my garden, all the crocuses sprouting. That makes me feel abundant. It makes me feel like life is full of possibility. It makes me feel happy. Happy. I just want to be happy. Paying my bills makes me happy. Nature feels so abundant to you. Yes. Nature is abundant, and nature brings us back into beingness. We were born, I'm going to say abundant, but we didn't know it. Our parents didn't feel abundant. They struggled. There was a war, there was drought, there was famine, there was all this drama going on in their lives. And we beautiful souls came into this world thinking that we had to shrink our energy to fit mommy and daddies because they were the grown-ups. They were taking care of us. They made us feel safe. What if it was the other way around? What if us being born allowed them to feel prosperous and abundant? And it gave them the love that they required to live their life more healthy, longer. We made a difference in their lives, yet many of us thought that we were burdens to our parents. I don't think we were. Since I've been using the scanner, it's going on 4 years now, so many miracles have occurred. And I will explain some of those to you. But it wasn't because I wanted to make them happen. It wasn't because they were my goals. In fact, most of those things were so far beyond anything I had imagined for myself, I couldn't have imagined it. It wasn't in the capacity of my brain to hold that kind of thing. I went on an unexpected trip to England many years ago, and I learned something in England. I went with $500 Canadian. It was a business trip. I figured I'd have money to spend. I hadn't realized at the time that currency in England was double what it was in Canada. So I ate apples all week because I could not afford to go to restaurants. And they didn't have gluten-free restaurants in England, which was interesting. I've been gluten-free for 30 years, so I was definitely going to look for gluten-free items. When I went to the bank to get some more money out, I learned something very interesting. They don't call money money. They call it currency. To me, that sounds like electricity, or it sounds like water flowing. It shows that there is movement. They call these coins. Cool. Or minted. They call them minted. I thought that was interesting. Mint, like the herb? No, mint, like being made historically. In North America, we call these bills. You know, it's funny. They're not bills. They're currency. Bills are what we call invoices or debits or debts. Why would we call these, which we give to people as an exchange for a service or an item, a bill? It's 20 bills, it's 100 bills. It's like, but I'm paying for something. I'm no longer in debt. I am making an exchange. So in order to reset or repattern your mind, we need to do a couple of little experiments here beside using frequencies, because frequencies are going to make that energetic shift for you. But I have some homework for you. I want you to collect paper. Could be colored. I like colored paper because it's fun. Could be Post-it notes. And every day, I want you to write down 3 things that you noticed that showed you were prosperous. We started doing this, my kids and I, in 1996 or 97, because my son was being bullied at school. He was being harassed, and every night he would go to bed trying to figure out why they were picking on him, why they were doing this. It didn't make sense to him. So I started an exercise, quite by accident, of taking a piece of paper and having him tell me 3 things that went well that day. And we would write it down and we would put it in the jar. And every day we put in 3 new separate things, 3 separate pieces of paper about what was going well for him that day, what he liked about that day, what made him feel good. And by the end of the year, we had 1,000 slips of paper in here of gratitudes. We called it our gratefulness jar. Not gratitude jar, but gratefulness, because those items made us feel full, energetically happy, expansive, safe. And on New Year's Eve, we would take this and we would dump it out because everybody in the family had their own jar. And actually, it became more than a jar. Everybody had their own kombucha bucket, clear, because I like to be able to see it. And we would sit and the intention was to read a couple of these things that made us feel happy. Okay, my son graduating, great. Somebody gifting us a car, that's an interesting one. All of these things, we would look at what we had taken for granted because they became our new normal. And we sat there and we were reading these things and we found out some of these prosperous, gratefulness moments affected all of us, but we had different points of view about it. So we would go through the year looking at what we are grateful for and relive it and relish it, not taking it for granted because it was our now normal. And I want you to do this with items that make you feel prosperous. I call my jar the miracles I witnessed today. Every day, 3. One might be that, hey, I brushed my teeth today. I had bronchitis and I can talk. I got my voice back. I stopped coughing. Could be little things. Doesn't have to be big things. But I tell you, when you look at it again at the end of the year, your mind is going to see that there is prosperity because your mind has been programmed to only look for what's wrong with you and look for what's wrong with your life and look for what needs fixing. Your mind is always going to tell you the worst case scenario about something because it wants to save you. And I want you to start realizing that, oh, wow, life is abundant. Life is prosperous. This feels really good. 1996, what is it now? 2026? This is just a habit we do. It's just something that makes us feel good so that we can go over our day and say, hey, it was a good day. Because we have a tendency of looking what went wrong that day. So every day feels like a bad day. It's our choice to reframe that. The second piece of homework I have for you is to collect all your receipts. Okay, if you're self-employed, you're going to collect your receipts anyways because you have to claim them for income tax. But I got an idea for you. Those receipts that you can't claim, get another jar. I actually have a box in my kitchen where we put these. Okay, we fill it up with receipts every day. But the exercise is this. You take your receipt. You spent money. You circle the amount. And then on the back or on the front, you write, and you can't see it, thank you, thank you, thank you. The money I spent today comes back to me tenfold. You start feeling that after a while. Oh, look it, I was successful. I bought groceries. Oh, look it, I was successful. I put money in the tank of my car. Oh, I was successful. I went and got a manicure. Oh, I bought a birthday present. Oh, look what I did. It fills up very quickly. But if you take that moment, it doesn't take hours, it doesn't take minutes. It takes a couple of seconds to look at the receipt, to circle it, and then say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel it. Thank you. And then you write down the money I spent comes back to me 10 times or 100 times or whatever you want to write on there. The big part is not taking that moment for granted and realizing that, wow, I am making ends meet. Wow, look at this. Wow, I paid my hydro bill, my gas bill. I paid for my MasterCard. Whatever it is, thank you, thank you, thank you. Money flows back to me tenfold. It's currency. It's alive. We don't have a money problem. We have a receiving problem. And I want you to know how much you are receiving. It's a feeling. Prosperity is a feeling, but it's also a fact. It's not just about mindset. It's about realizing how we've been programmed and noticing where you feel the resistance in your body. Your mind goes into, I don't have enough. I am not enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Of course, you don't know how to do something if you've never done it before. So that's why I want to reinforce the repatterning that you're going through right now. Ooh, there's another receipt. What makes you feel abundant? What makes you feel prosperous? Julie talked about our playlists that we can make with the Cephi, the subtle energy frequency imprints. I think people emphasize too much on certain playlists. You can call it a prosperity playlist, but I want you to make sure that you've got energy clear, energy shield, coordination, and prosperity, wealth, and success in there. But I want you to pad those with letting the Cephi scanner scan for you what you need that day. Because what you need today may not be what you need tomorrow. And what you need tomorrow to change your and shift your energy may not be what you need on Friday or next week. I change my Cephis around all the time. For my abundance group, we do a different Cephi every single day for the entire group because it shifts. Sometimes it's mostly Bach flower remedies. Other times it's something else. Sometimes it comes up pain or some illness or whatever, and I'm always surprised. What has that got to do with prosperity? Oh, everything, because everything is energy flowing. I told Julianne I would do a half an hour talk. We're going to go a little bit over because I want you to see that us doing the energy frequencies is not linear. It is going to affect different areas of your life and bring in new awarenesses that you weren't expecting, really, that you weren't expecting. So if I look at why I joined the scanner, it was because my son was living in another province. He was in a specialty training and he was very, very sick. Every day for 3 months, they were testing him for COVID. He didn't have COVID. But I couldn't figure out at a distance, being a healer, what was going on. So I hired out to different healers that I knew to see if they had some biofeedback or something that they could help relieve him of whatever condition he was going through. And I got in touch with Julie Tibble because I knew her as a BIE practitioner, and she ran a scan on my son on the Sunday. That weekend, my son had gone into hospital, and the hospital didn't know what was wrong with him, and they gave him prednisone, an antibiotic, and a puffer. And that dysregulated his nervous system even more. And all of a sudden, he is sweating profusely. His body went round, full of fluid. His eyes were like this and tearing constantly. And he was coughing and coughing and coughing. And they asked him to leave the program that he was in. He waited 3 years for this program to be accepted into it. He didn't want to leave, but people didn't want him to be there. Julie ran some scans. And the next day when I phoned him to see if I needed to, would it benefit him if I hired her to do some more of these things, he said to me, Mom, stop worrying about me. My eyes are clear. My cough has stopped. And I'm going to ace my exams. And I was blown away. We got the scanner because my mother was 98 years old. And the dementia that she had that was working with her brain had robbed her of using her legs. So she was wheelchair bound all the time and fully dependent on us. And then she got sundowners. So she was up every 2 hours all night long. Laura and I were still trying to run our businesses and take care of her, even though I was hiring in PSWs to look after her for 3 hours a day so we could run our businesses, and we were burning out. So we started to run scans on Oma to help her sleep. In fact, we ran scans on the whole household and the building that we were living in for sedate, inner peace, calm, coordination, because we thought it might help her body or would help our bodies. And strange things started happening. Strange, like all of a sudden, Laura and I had energy, physical energy, to paint a room that had wanted to be painted for months, to wash our carpets, to start rearranging furniture, to start looking at new things that needed to be done. And with my mother, I needed to build a ramp. Her windows cracked and broke, so we needed to replace the windows. We needed to set up her bathroom in a way that we could all maneuver in there. So I looked at getting a new mortgage. But because mom had been labeled by the doctor with dementia, and mom had a tremor in her hand, she could not make her signature the same, I was refused. So we went to another company and I was refused. And I went to another company and I was refused. And it was like, okay, this is not the way we're going to get our money. But I really wanted to get these things done for her to make the end of her life more comfortable, to make it easier on Laura and I taking care of her. And the weird thing that happened is I got a letter from my bank that they had looked over 25 years of interest payments or something that they did and realized that I had been overcharged, and they sent me a refund for $600. I've never heard of anyone else getting that refund. That was interesting. And then another interesting thing happened. My ex-husband, who I hadn't seen in 30 years, who I had no contact with, pulled into my driveway with a van. He had inherited a van. And he said the van would be good for Oma in the wheelchair. And it took everything I had not to resist, resent, and refuse that offer. So I decided, well, at the worst, I could sell it. I didn't want a van. I had a beautiful Jeep. I had a beautiful little sexy Jeep that I loved driving. But it didn't help my mother, and it didn't fit the wheelchair unless it was folded down. So I took the van and I took the Jeep to my mechanic, and I said, which vehicle has more value? Which one will give me more value over time? And he said, this van, they don't make it anymore. This is really, really good, and it's going to last you another 10 years. And I went, oh. He says, yeah, Jeeps sort of run down and you need more repairs and blah, blah, blah. Oh, how do I sell a car? I've never had to sell a car before. I don't know how to do this. Monkey mind talking, telling me that I can't do this, but I could. So I decided this van was filthy. It looked like it hadn't been cleaned in 20 years. And it smelled of cigarette smoke. So I took it to be detailed. And because I didn't know if I was selling the Jeep or I was selling the van, I took the Jeep to be detailed, which was huge for me because all my life I'm going, why would people want to have their car detailed? It's so expensive. And I got both cars detailed and they both looked brand new. Oh my God, they were so beautiful. And I was so grateful to this young man who had detailed my cars. I wrote him up a testimonial on Facebook. I wasn't saying I'm selling my cars. I was just saying, look at what this company did. They were amazing. And I got, I don't know, 5, 10 hits saying, are you selling your Jeep? Are you selling your Jeep? Can I come over and look at the Jeep? Excuse me, universe? What? I had the Jeep sold in 3 days. My mechanic thought I would get 7,000. There was a bidding war. I got 10,000. $10,000, 600 from the thing in ways that I didn't imagine would ever happen because that was not in my brain. That was in our frequency. And to add to that, somebody gave me a DOD ticket. Never been on my bucket list to want to go to Day of Discovery in Utah. Who goes to Utah? And then all of a sudden, someone else said, yeah, the airline messed up. I can't refund my ticket, but I can give it to you if you're going to DOD. So now I have airfare and I have a DOD ticket. And then somebody lets me know that the person that they were going to rent the room with, the hotel room, has backed out. And now I have a place to stay. But DOD isn't on my bucket list. I don't want to go to Utah, but you know what? This Solex DOD thing, we'll make sure that Laura goes. I'll make sure my daughter gets there. And then we got another DOD ticket. And I went, why does the universe want me to go to Day of Discovery? What is important about this? Was I feeling prosperous? Was I feeling abundant? Absolutely. And confused. So I said, okay, I'll work with the universe on this. I will look into how much it costs to hire PSWs to work round the clock with my mother for 4 or 5 days. Out of this world. Okay, wonder what else we can do. Well, Laura, you're going to go to DOD. That's fine. And I'm talking to my bookkeeper about taxes or something. And I said to her, oh, you know what? You do the AO scan. Do you want to go to DOD? I have a ticket you can take. And you can share the room with Laura at the hotel. And she goes, well, why aren't you going? I said, well, because I have to take care of Oma. And she goes, Jessy, I used to be a PSW. I could spend 4 or 5 days with Oma and take care of her. And I went, oh, no, no, you don't realize she's got sundowners and she's in the wheelchair and she needs her diapers changed and blah, 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 blah. Story, story, story. And she goes, I can do my bookkeeping in Windsor, where she lives, which is 4 or 5 hours away from me, or I can do it at your house while I take care of Oma. And guess what? Laura and I went to DOD. And guess what else? We went again last year. And then when we came back, something extraordinary happened. The mortgage renewal had been approved for more money than I had asked for. The really cool thing about this was when I had the windows appraised to be repaired or reinstalled, new ones put in, it was $25,000. The mortgage renewal came through just in time for Black Friday sales. And the company that I was going to hire to do my windows suddenly went from 25,000 down to 15,000 for better than quality because that was what the promotion was. And the installation would happen in January after Christmas, right away. Do not think that prosperity listens to your mind because it doesn't. If you allow the frequencies to do their job and do some of these little fine tunings of your perceptions, the world is your oyster. You are going to get things you didn't expect. And you will feel gratefulness. You will feel prosperous. You will feel like you are riding a wave of how it was supposed to be. We came to this earth to have a good time. Yes, it will show up in unexpected ways, totally unexpected. I like to tell my clients that we live in a society that likes to harness our frequencies, our energy. We are capable of doing amazing things when we get out of our own way, when we clear the frequencies that we are inundated with in this planet. Look at it this way. If they have to spend 24/7 for 60, 70, 80 years convincing us that we're not enough, what are we capable of with the right frequencies? What is it that we can do that we don't know we can do, that we can do? We didn't come here to struggle. I don't believe for a minute that God sent us here and said, okay, you're going to figure out what struggling feels like. No, I believe we came here to enjoy ourselves. And we've been programmed with struggle. It's been maneuvered. But if we use frequencies to get our nervous system into alignment, to notice when we're feeling prosperous instead of thinking that the future is negative, live in the now. You can plan for the future. You can have your savings accounts, but the world is uncertain. We've heard about stock market crashes and banks going bankrupt and all kinds. There is no certainty. But if you are certain in your own energy, your alignment, your nervous system, you're capable of anything. So listen to your inner voice. Do your easy scans. Listen to some Cephis. But don't get stuck on, I want more abundance. What does abundance look like to you? Tell the universe. What does prosperity feel like to you? Tell the universe. And if today's session, time, allow yourself to feel abundant in time. But if this makes sense to you, ask me about our 52 weeks of energy tune-ups, because we can get out of our own way. We can reprogram our nervous system. We can manifest things or allow ourselves to receive what the universe is manifesting for us. Are there any questions? Anybody want to ask me anything before I close this off? You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do your homework. Write on your receipts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your brain needs to see that you are prosperous. Write the things that you're grateful for or that you find prosperous in your day, just so that your mind reprograms what it was taught before. Two simple little things. Play with money. Ask yourself, how does it feel? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, ladies, go on with your day. Start looking for what's prosperous around you. Just look for the evidence. That's all it is. Oh, two things. We have a book club. The book they're working on right now is A Happy Pocket Full of Money. It's a really, really good read. And while we're at it, there's another book that I bought years ago that I love, and it's called It's Not Your Money. It's God's money. It's God's support to you. It's the universe's support to you. So put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly for a moment, and let's do the transformation prayer. Dear God, guidance on demand, divine beloved, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the unlimited source of all that is. Let me be an easy, open conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that my own needs are being met in the most amazing ways. And it is safe to give freely as my heart guides me to. And equally, let me feel wildly open to receiving. May I know my own value, my beauty, my worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Transform me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so that I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything go that needs to go. Let everything that needs to come, let it come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one. And so it is. All is well. Bye, ladies. Have yourself a great day. Maybe we'll see you at DOD this year.